Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a very quick comparison here between the Galaxy S9 and Note 8 phone. So Samsung's latest flagship versus 2017 flagship later on in the year. Let's see how they do compare. And obviously the Note 8 is a lot cheaper nowadays. You can get probably about 600-700 euro. So it represents good value for money. Comes with a bigger screen here, S Pen, and full Samsung suite of apps as well. You can see quite a big difference there in terms of the boot up. Gotta say, much faster on the S9. Maybe that is a combination of like software optimization as well as a new processor, which I think is Exynos. In the 9 series, we did have the 8 series in the Note 8 here. So we're just going to see how they do compare. We have installed a few apps. I think we've shut everything down as well and updated everything, so we can see if there's any differences here. You can see some of the icons is a little bit different in terms of the Samsung experience here. So that is quite nice, and so far I can't see a huge difference between them. Both of them seem to be very similar here in terms of opening stuff up, as you can see, and that goes to show you how strong the 8 series Exynos processor actually was. Let's try some third-party apps. We do have UFC. A little bit snappier on the left, not a huge difference though. And Rave. Again, the left you can see a little bit quicker there, but I think they've reached a peak here in terms of the performance of the processor. You can't see a massive difference here, which goes to show you that the Note 8 is still very relevant. My only criticism would be that the battery should be 4000 for a power user kind of phone. We'll just have a look at some website loading speed, and then we can have a look at the benchmark. So let's just load this page. So it looks like the Note 8 there, a little bit snappier to actually load the overview, and you can really see here the Note 8 comes into its own when it comes to the web browsing. Is it me as well that the S9 seems to have a more kind of coldish display here, like a little bit more bluish, especially when you tilt it at certain angles, whereas the one on the Note 8 seems to be a bit more colour accurate. This is what I'm noticing anyway, but maybe you notice something different. In terms of the sensitivity, you can see nice and responsive here, which is good. Let's just click on a link, go right to the top, and this one, I don't think it's responded then, so let's just go back and click on another link. Let's just go to that one. So a little bit snappier here on the left. Both of them have the most up-to-date Samsung browser as well, so should be quite comparable. Again, you can see here there's a big delay on the S9, which is quite inexplicable. It does seem to be quite slow when it comes to the Wi-Fi, which is why I don't understand, with the latest stuff. But let's have a look at the raw benchmark here. I did want to run your Geekbench, so we can see You are getting your Android 8 as well here on the left, which should give some optimizations under the hood, you know. We will just fast forward this. So you can see, I think the S9 is powering through this a little bit faster, which is what I would expect here. But it's really strange because you don't really see the performance gains reflected in the day-to-day usability of the device, and you know, that is quite weird. You can also see how quick the battery drains. I've taken the SIMs out. I think I charged it to 100% before this video. It's already on 96%. So, you know, usually, like for example with my Mate 10 Pro, if I'm just using it a little bit, you literally take like half an hour for it to drop percentage. It's amazing in terms of the battery. But nevertheless, how do they score here? It's going to be, will they get 2000 for the single core on the new processor? Yes, they will. They'll get 3600. That's a huge score for Android. Wow. I wasn't expecting it to be that high. I mean, I think that's getting close now to what Apple does get, which is still very good in terms of, you know, the beastliness of the is it A11? Yeah, I think we're on A11 now. So very good score here for the single core score. Let's see what the Note 8 gets, which should be probably a little bit lower because of the Android 7.1.1. Yeah, so it just breaks through to 2000 here, so a solid improvement in terms of the benchmark, no doubt about it. I just wanted to also do another Wi-Fi test here, see how they do compare, because the other day I did this and it wasn't very good on the Samsung S9. So I was wondering, you know, what was happening. Maybe it was a one-off. Let's just start it up again. I'm not downloading anything or using the Wi-Fi. And it's still, you know, it's very lethargic when it comes to the Wi-Fi. Maybe it's just mine, you know. I've not really watched anyone else's videos, but some people have been saying that others get a good score. I always get the dodgy phones, don't I? You know, remember the P10 as well? Couldn't get that past like 20 megabytes. But you can see, you know, Note 8 is not messing around. Very nice score still here. Obviously with the Note 8 you are also getting the S Pen, which, you know, personally I don't really bother with, but it does give it a unique selling point, and you're not going to get that with the S series. So you can see the pen doesn't work here, which is quite nice. The only thing obviously about the Note 8 is the fingerprint scanner, which is in a terrible place. They have fixed that on the S9, but overall, you know, I think the Note 8 is the better device here. When you consider like what you're getting, a bigger screen, it's probably about the same kind of price, and also you know, as I said, the S Pen functionality, 6 gigs of RAM as well, and I think a slightly bigger battery. So, you know, do consider all that. I don't think the Exynos 9 series is a big leap as well in terms of the day-to-day performance. Good in terms of the benchmark, but in terms of the performance, you know, not a huge kind of leap here. But yeah, just a quick little comparison here.